Hello and welcome to session 15 of Abandoned Hope, which is becoming increasingly more endearing as we progress. Can anyone give me a summary of what transpired last session?
Oh my god, these pictures.
Yeah.
I somehow forget how we got to the church. I think the old man led us there, or somebody else led us there. Um, I think we were following the deer person that was the old woman. Um, we made our way into the church. I think Gwendolyn blinked up there and then threw a rope down for us. We broke in by burning our way in with acid, if I recall correctly. And then we discovered a gathering of deer, and a preacher of some sort who is not confirmed as of yet to be a deer. And then somebody discovered us, was very freaked out by everything. And they were trying to escape. I forget if they actually managed to get away from us or not.
I believe they escaped onto the roof.
So just down the stairs here, where Ivor is, leads down here, where there's lots of deer.
Did you
And they seem to do something nefarious.
fried?
What was that?
Did you include the fact that the whole town was fried?
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Poor town.
Yeah, also genocide.
Is it genocide if
every
you didn't
time-
intend it?
Every time Ivor's seen somebody die, they just came back, so he's not particularly worried. He has zero reason to believe that that is not the case.
Alright, so everyone was just kind of squatting on this floor. Your potential guest having fled. What do you do? Remember, there
We
are.
were discussing.
Yes.
We were discussing ways to kill the deer people without letting them out of the building.
Yes. I believe you found a bit of antler in the cauldron of blood in the center of the room. Is that correct?
That sounds right.
Yes, that's a thing that happened. It's good to remember antlers. There was a lot of fire discussed immediately toward the end of the last session, I remember.
As I don't recall if we ever formulated an actual plan.
I don't believe so.
We discussed a lot of different ways to burn them alive.
Yeah, I think we were still in the half panicky, what do we do? kind of mode.
I mean, there were different ways to barricade them inside. Did we do something to the front door? I thought we had.
I don't remember you having done anything to the front door. Unless you barricaded it, maybe?
I think y'all were going down to go do something with the front door before we started.
Yes. That sounds right.
But we do definitely need to prevent them from all pouring out at once. Vesper, can you just go down the stairs and cast Shatter or something like all your other characters are able to?
I had Shatter.
So that's just poor planning.
Yes,
Yeah.
but Wendelorn does have Shatter. as well as Thunderwave. Wendlorn has learned well from the Vesper.
Vesper has neither of those.
There's a little window about, let's say, right here. And Ivor, you're the closest to the window. You casually glimpse a humanoid figure running desperately away from the building. He is quickly overtaken by something large and shadowy and just kind of disappears into the darkness.
Oh no.
Well, from what it seems outside, leaving this place may not be an option. I think we will have to deal with this. There is something large outside that just killed the man that escaped, or took him somewhere, or something. It looked bad.
Hmm.
I was going to offer up the question, why do we even need to kill these deer if we could just escape? But it seems escape is no longer an easy option. DM question.
Yes.
So far in the town, we haven't seen anybody that we'd recognize as Jail or Old Sam, right?
That is correct.
Okay. So I haven't confirmed their whereabouts yet.
Maybe they melted too.
It's a possibility.
You hear this, the tremendous sound of crunching coming from down the stairwell. Like thick hardwood splintering with kind of a creaky, crunching shatter.
That can't be good. Anyone want to take a peek?
Sure.
You hear the sound of someone churning butter as you approach the stairwell.
Is that a familiar sound to any of us?
You know, now that you say it, probably not. Vesper, what would be the closest sound to you compared to churning butter? Maybe like a guy repeatedly being crushed by a giant rock. That's probably something you've seen. Like a sentient giant rock that just keeps pummeling him as some kind of twisted arcane torture.
Maybe.
Sounds like that.
Sure.
Are you heading down the stairs?
Well, with that in mind, it may not be the best idea to approach.
Just a little peek.
I mean, I certainly see the logic in not approaching the sound of a guy being crushed by a giant rock.
How did we see them before to know what's down there? Did we look in the windows from outside? Or
I
did
think
we look from up
Wendlorn
here?
took a look. That's what I remember.
Seems like a good job for Wendlorn then.
I may have gone down there because I'm a ghost. I don't know if I went down there and checked and went back up or something.
Oh yeah,
that was
ghost.
from the ghost.
You go do it. Forgot about that.
Poor Slash.
Okay, I go around the corner and
All
check
right.
what the sound.
Are you just kind of sauntering in a ghost-like fashion, or are you going to try to be stealthy about it?
Well, it seems like some people can still see me, so I'm still gonna try to be stealthy about it.
Okay, please give me a stealth roll then. Alright, you feel pretty ghostly and stealthy. You pop your ghostly head down, and the rest of your ghostly self. Whoops. And you actually see none of these things I just put there. You see a giant red smear covering the floor and the walls. You see bits of limbs here and there. You see bits of antler here and there. You see teeth and you see eyeballs. You see long ribbons of
It
skin.
got dark.
The front doors of the chapel have been shattered inward. There are deep gouges in the floor and around the walls, like colossal fingernails scraped them. You see no creatures, living or otherwise, remaining in this chapel.
Did you say shattered inward?
Shattered inward, yes.
Okay, so I'm going to retreat quickly because that's kind of disturbing.
Alright.
I'll relay this information to everyone else. Doesn't look like anyone's alive in there. Did it look like it was 2 bodies or 1 body that was destroyed?
Maybe a dozen. Unless the one creature had just, like, quite a lot of eyes and teeth.
Okay, I didn't realize it was that much. Okay. How big was the room?
I don't know, 20 by 30 feet. Roughly-ish to scale of what's on the ground there in the drawing.
Well, good news, everyone. There's no one there. Bad news, it looks like there's a bunch of dead people.
Can everyone upstairs please give me a perception roll based on hearing?
Yes.
Ivor has advantage.
Perception at advantage.
Right. Everyone hears this wet and heavy panting coming from outside through the window.
Am I rolling?
No, you were still coming up while this was happening.
Quick question.
Yes.
If this staircase here goes up, shouldn't it not connect to the other room? Like, I feel like the up and down is backwards.
It's oriented wrong, and I'm saying that just now because of reasons.
Okay. That makes total sense. Except it doesn't.
No, it really doesn't. In Wendalorn, you see slowly a gigantic, broad, wet eyeball with a narrow pupil slit appears in the middle of the window, surrounded by caked, dried, nasty red flesh. It is colossal. It takes up about a quarter of the window, the eye does.
I am going to point that out to everyone else.
Now you appear, Slash.
Pop. Is the staircase actually a portal?
It may be. A portal to the downstairs dimension.
Like, you could just switch the up and the down.
I could. Question not the magic of stairs.
I mean, things don't really have to make sense when it comes to Dungeons and Dragons anyway, so.
No, it does
Things
help,
rarely
though.
do.
Non-Euclidean Dungeons and Dragons maps just make it more fun. I want to make a dungeon based on that now.
Oh, fun. Anti-dungeon, you're somewhere else.
Does this eye appear to be doing anything?
No, it's the pupil is dilating and contracting. It's trying to focus on something within the room, but the face and the eye don't really seem to be doing anything in particular.
So does this resemble like a cat eye?
More like a goat eye.
Oh good, there's goats now. They seem to feature heavily in the last game.
Do they have human-like hands?
That remains to be seen.
I'd be shocked if they didn't.
I don't know. Can more than one animal, have human-like hands in a campaign?
This is Taylor.
Previous game had pigeons and goats, I think,
True
at the same
enough.
one.
I think there's a dragon with human hands.
Yes, there
Is
was
that a
also
thing?
that. And for the record, the humans also have human hands.
Oh God.
Good to know. Good to know.
Mind blown.
That is an important thing to clarify.
Well, what do you do?
Well, I'd like to ready my sword just in case it does anything hostile.
Alright.
I hide because I can't use my weapons.
Alright, can you give me a stealth roll, please? You feel pretty stealthy. You don't feel like the thing can see you. A thorny tongue protrudes from the center of the eye and lashes out at... Actually, first let's do a perception roll.
Who, everyone?
No, just me.
Oh.
The tongue lashes out at Ivor.
Oh boy,
That's a long tongue.
Does a 20 hit Ivor?
it does.
Alright. It strikes through the center of the window. It slashes at the first hanging corpse in front of it, ripping a good chunk of the meat off with its barbs, and then begins filling around, striking at the cauldron of blood, scraping against the surface of it, and whipping back to cut right across your upper arm.
Well,
Ouch.
that's hostile, so I'm gonna try to slice it in two.
Take 8 piercing damage. Okay, well, yes. You can run right up to it. A 16 will hit, and that is a lot of slashing damage. You chop it in two.
Ooh.
A high-pitched screaming fills the chamber. The corpses tremble in their hooks, and the tongue and its eye move away.
Does the bark that I cut off do anything, or does it?
It's writhing around on the ground.
Of course it is.
It stops
Can I
moving
s-
after a few moments.
Okay, good. I was gonna keep stabbing it.
It clearly has a bone, like a spine, in the middle of it. It's leaking a nasty blue substance.
Does the substance seem to be reacting with the floor or anything?
It does not react to the floor, however, it starts to evaporate fairly quickly.
Do I have a chance to strike back as well, or has it pulled away from me?
Yes, you can make an attack of opportunity against it. You hit, and you'll have your sneak attack damage. You, I guess you sever another big chunk of it.
Sneaky stabby.
Indeed. The eye and its tongue have retracted for now. What do you do?
Do we see any
Uh,
sign of it through the window?
Can you give me a perception, please? You do not see it. There is,
I'm
however,
gonna-
quite a lot of noise on the roof.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I'm gonna go up these stairs, and there was like a passageway up here, right, or like an attic.
Yes, there was like a sort of a little crawl space with a, I
Okay,
believe it was a ladder leading up to a trapdoor.
I'll go up the staircase enough that I can keep an eye both down here and upstairs, hopefully. Or
Okay.
prioritizing upstairs if I have to choose one.
Shouldn't we be sending Slash? Slash is our recon guy.
I don't know.
He can pass through the ceiling if he feels like it.
That's a good point.
He could also possess the tongue if he felt like it.
Please don't.
Oh, no.
Become tongue.
I'll let you make little arms and legs for it if you wish. If that'll make life easier.
Nah, it just slithers.
Oh god.
I think I'm good. I think
Okay.
I'm good.
You're no fun.
There's loud clattering and stomping on the ceiling very close to the trapdoor, Ivor.
Can I prepare an attack for if I see something
Yes.
also come through the door? Alright, I'll just Eldritch Blast if something comes through the door.
Alright. Now let's go into initiative order right now.
Alrighty.
Just to make things easier, I'll just make it one less than you, Worm, because I'm pretty sure you're faster than it. Alright, so... Worm, it is your turn.
So,
You
from
see-
down here, we hear it on the roof?
You do hear it.
Well, I'm assuming that I can't get past Ivor, right?
You could try to get past him and he can decide to let you by or not. And Ivor has already prepared an attack, we'll say for free, essentially.
Okay, so I can climb all the way up to the roof?
If he lets you squeeze by, yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't prevent you.
Well, Worm's feeling kind of emboldened by slicing the tongue in two, so he's gonna run up there like an action hero.
Alright, so he gets to the top. Let me draw a roof. Now we're gonna say there's like some buttresses on the side that make it not quite as, quite the same dimensions as what's down below.
Okay.
Roof.
Worm,
There we go.
you pop up, and you see a colossal deer, with probably, I don't know, he needs more legs. He's got like 8 pairs of legs, but they all end in hooves, aside from one pair of, I guess, arms at the front that end in knobbly, gnarly claws with very long, thick nails. The head is this giant, bulbous, tumorous mass of flesh with a handful of the very large eyes that you saw, each with the goat-like pupil. There are little nubs of antler that poke out all over from ridges and knobs of flesh on the mass, including one that protrudes through one of the eyeballs. There's kind of a crescent-shaped opening in the middle of the mass that clearly serves as a mouth, but no one in their right mind would call it a mouth. Lots of long, needly bits of antler serve as teeth, and a good half dozen tongues have sprouted from the eyes and from the center of the mouth and are just kind of writhing about and
From the eyes.
pulsing. Yes. Pulsing, perhaps in time with the heartbeat. As the thing sees you, it draws back and rears up, and you can see that it's a good, I don't know, maybe 20 feet tall when it draws itself up on its hindmost quarters. In its chest is a gaping wound that drips blood. In the center of it, clearly you can see, is a living soul, encased in a lattice of ribs. It drips a viscous blue that evaporates into the air as you watch. It licks its eyes.
Oh my god. Taylor, have you considered seeing, like, professional help?
This is my therapy. It's free. It lets out a low rumble and clearly has its sights set on you. What do you do?
I'm wondering if it's best to attack it or try to free the thing that I see inside of it. I want to take advantage of him rearing up like that and try to make a slash for, like, the opening where the thing is
Alright,
in an attempt to cut it free.
if you are trying to hit that specific location, you're going to be at disadvantage to hit.
Okay. Nice.
Nice. You smash and you shatter some ribs. A shock of electricity goes up your arm. You feel tingly. Do you do anything else, Worm?
I don't think there's anything else I can't do. I kind of hope somebody else joins me.
Alright. The creature is looming over you. It opens its mouth as wide as it will go and it tries to eat you alive. Can you please give me an opposed strength roll? Its teeth envelop you, nibbling you from head to toe.
No. Sounds unpleasant.
You take 9 piercing damage, and you are unable to do anything until you get free, or have some ability you can use to get free that does not require the free use of your hands.
How would I get free?
That's a really good question. I mean, you can try to wriggle free. You are grappled. You have the grappled condition.
Okay, I don't really know how reactions work. Can I use anything like that before it's my turn? or
You
no?
need a specific ability to use
Okay.
a reaction.
Alright.
Like, everybody's got opportunity attack, but that's the only thing most people have.
Okay. It's just not something I've ever really used, so I'm not sure how it works. But if I can't do anything else, I can't do anything else.
Right, and I am desperately trying to pull up grappled.
Grappled sets your speed to 0. It ends if the grappler is incapacitated. It also ends if an effect removes the grappled creature from the area, such as Thunderwave.
Yes. So you are...
So grapple doesn't work like a concentration spell. He maintains it until specifically he doesn't.
Yeah, you will, Right.
Are you thinking restrained, perhaps?
It's going to be both.
Sure.
You are, I mean...
restrained includes grappled.
Right.
So on my next turn, would I do another strength roll?
Yeah, at the beginning of your turn, you'll... You can use your movement or your action to try to get out of it. Yeah, forget that I
Or?
said grappled. Or someone else can try to help you.
Okay.
Or if you had a power you could use, but I don't think you do. Yeah, you are restrained. You have no speed. Attacks against you have advantage. Your attacks have disadvantage. And you have disadvantage on dexterity saving throws.
Spells and melee, both?
If they are attack rolls, yes.
Okay.
If you have a spell that doesn't use an attack roll, that won't be affected.
Okay.
It is Evor's turn.
So I saw a worm squeeze past me, then skedaddle
Yes.
up the ladder onto the roof, and
Yeah.
then I heard probably disgusting sounds and grumbling.
Indeed.
So I will assume nothing is coming down the roof for now, so I will proceed up as well.
All right.
How much movement would it take me to get from the stairs to the
Just
ladder?
about 5 feet.
Oh, okay. Not much at all. All right.
And you see worm being eaten.
Okay. I'm going to use my action to unleash my necrotic shroud.
All right.
In seeing this disgusting creature, I will feel the fear of its visage, and then call upon my deity to help out a bit. And so 2 skeletal wings sprout from my back, with kind of dark energy flowing off of them instead of feathers, and my eyes go just pure black.
All right.
The deer thing, whatever it is, must make a charisma saving throw.
All right. It chooses to pass.
Okay, fair enough.
You see, after your transformation is complete, you see a much larger form, the same shape as the deer creature, looming just behind it. It is burning with the remnant, the corpse of divine energy. You see the form of a god behind this 3-dimensional shadow.
Do I see it too?
No, you see blackness and teeth.
Okay.
Okay. As a bonus action, then I will Hexblade's Curse the deer,
All right.
the deer thingy. Yeah, and that's not hex. It doesn't get disadvantage or anything.
All
It's
right.
just its own thing. But I have emerged onto the roof and tried to make myself as intimidating as physically possible, and thrown all of my dark magic at it. That is my turn. I guess I'll shift off of the thing.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Vesper in progress. It's your turn.
I still haven't found a way to fix that. But I guess this is a thing we're doing, so I'll head up there as well.
All right. One by one, you pop like popcorn chicken up the roof. You see the scene. What do you do? You've used 15 feet of movement, by the way. Also, Ivor looks really funky. He looks dark.
Yes.
Yeah, that's rather disturbing.
That's the disturbing thing.
Well, you expect a giant deer. You
We
don't
have to-
expect Ivor.
You have to fight fire with more fire, right? That's how this works?
Yes.
Just out disturb the other creature.
Of
And
course.
it's gonna be tricky, but it's what we're gonna do.
But you can come save your best friend Worm if you want to.
Yeah, where is this thing exactly? Like as far as distance?
It's about 10
Do you
feet
not
from
see
you.
the map?
No, my sheet is pretty much covering it.
Oh,
Oh,
you
dear.
don't have 2 monitors down there.
No, I'm not
Tisk
that
tisk.
cool.
Yes, it's about 10 feet from you. I can move your avatar if you decide to move close to it.
No, that's fine where it is. Well, in that case, I'm going to cast fire. What was it? Firebolt that I had.
Oh yeah,
And I
set
can't
worm on
remember.
fire.
I can't remember which one's the cantrip. Okay, yeah.
Firebolt is a cantrip. Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna cast Firebolt at it in an attempt to get it off of Worm.
All right.
Oh.
You
Perfect.
miss. Your firebolt ricochets off its antler.
Thank you for not missing a little worse.
I tried. Well, I think that's all that I can really do, so.
Well, you can move out of the stairway so that other people can come up.
I could, yeah, so. I'll get out of the stairway.
All right. You step out of the stairway. As you walk closer to this thing, your blood boils inside you. It tingles and effervesces. It's fairly painful.
Yeah, I'd say boiling blood would probably be fairly painful.
Yeah.
A little bit more than tingling.
Mm-hmm. Wendalorn, it is your turn.
Well, it seems since the party is upstairs that I will head upstairs.
All right. You will see the scene once you arrive.
Now, am I seeing the creature and that other godlike thing?
You can see the godlike shape through your special eye. You see the creature's three-dimensional body through your normal eye and through your special eye.
Okay. Let's see, I don't want to toast Worm. So, let's see here.
It's pretty well insulated by mouth at the moment.
Well, in that case, if he's insulated by mouth, then I think I will cast Scorching Ray on this thing.
All right.
See if I can get it to drop Worm. So I need to make, what, 3 attack rolls then?
Yes. That one hits. Oh, that one hits.
Nice rolls.
Yes. All 3 of your bolts slam into the creature's face, and it rips itself free from its position, letting Worm splat to the ground. It lets loose a howl that resonates through your bones.
Well, I suppose resonating bones are better than boiling blood.
That's debatable. The question is, can we combine them?
Hmm.
You might want to move yourself up onto the roof.
Well, the only other person is the ghost, correct?
Yes.
So I'm pretty good where I'm at right at the moment.
Okay. Poor Mr. Ghost. Did we skip Mr. Ghost?
I rolled a 6, so not really.
Gotcha.
Oh, he didn't. You didn't click your token when you rolled. That's probably why it didn't add you to it.
Yeah, he's not on the list.
Or he's on the list now. And does
Nice.
Wendalorn or Slash have higher dexterity?
Mine's a 14.
Mine's a 14 as well.
Ooh,
Okay.
tiebreaker.
Can the 2 of you each give me a dexterity roll real quick, please? Goodness.
Wow.
One of you had +2, one of you had +2. Alright, so yes, George Wendalorn did in fact speed faster. Slash, it is your turn now.
I really don't know what I can possibly do, but I might as well go up on the roof with everyone else.
Alright. Being a ghost, you can occupy the same space as someone else just fine.
Try to possess him.
I feel like I should try to possess him, but I feel like that's gonna kill me somehow.
Your
But-
instincts are good.
I'm gonna hold off for now. If things get really bad, I will try. But I don't want to die.
You could
Can possessing
always...
something kill him?
Well, if you try to possess a creature that is far more spiritually powerful than you, it might just sip you up. That's just a good rule of thumb when it comes to ghosts.
The only thing I can really do is I'm gonna try to sneak behind the creature and do some insight and try to learn of a weakness or something.
Haven't you ever played Luigi's Mansion? Ghosts are very susceptible to slurping.
That's a very good point. Now, it's going to take you all of your regular movement, like, just to get to the other side of the room. So you'll have to dash if you want to get out to the roof this turn.
Or I'll dash. Nothing else I can really.
And you can get, like, anywhere on the roof if you dash. Huzzah.
Which way is it facing? Is it facing towards?
It is facing toward the group of everyone.
Well, I want to get in the back of it, so
Okay,
that would make more sense.
there we go.
And I'm gonna guess if I can do an insight check or try to learn of some sort of power or weakness it has.
You're not going to be able to do
Or is
much
that dash
this
to take
turn
my whole
since
turn?
dash uses your action.
Okay, that's fine. That'll be my turn then.
Okay. Worm, it is your turn. You are ungrappled. You are covered in tiny teeth wounds, though.
Am I still down on the floor?
You're prone, yes.
I've never used spiritual weapon before.
Well, you should. It's an amazing spell.
Well, I'm just not 100% sure how it works.
Right, it summons a spiritual weapon that will automatically... does it automatically attack or do you order? I'm pretty sure it automatically attacks.
It's a bonus action every turn.
Bonus action, yes.
Including the turn that you cast it in?
Does it cost an action or bonus action to cast?
Bonus.
Does it say that it attacks the turn that you summon it? I believe it does, and then you repeat the bonus action to attack on later turns.
I believe that's correct.
There.
Yep, you make a melee attack. What form does it take?
Well, regrettably, I have no connection with whatever religion I was a part of,
Does
so
it take the form
I
of a
imagine
worm?
it's just...
It probably takes the
no.
form of a bear.
It's just gonna be like a larger spectral version of my own sword.
Okay.
Not particularly creative, but Worm's not a particularly creative guy.
And where would you like it? Position that sword wherever you want it.
I would just next to his head, if you can pinpoint a head.
Alright.
Do I roll it again since the first click was completely accidental?
No, because you were still intending to use that click this turn. I'm afraid it's just going to miss this turn.
I was just intending to put the text up there.
It would have been
Terrible.
the thing that you would have used to attack. I mean, it probably wouldn't have. It probably would have pseudo-randomed another thing, but there's no reason to roll again. I'm sorry.
Okay. But I still have my regular attack.
Yes.
Correct.
That one will coac.
I'm slightly better at that.
Your blade digs into its meat, almost severing one of the legs. Blue steam blasts out at you.
I should have aimed specifically for that spot again.
Do you do anything else?
No.
Alright. The creature slams to the ground and charges the group of people in the corner. It lashes its tongues out at everyone.
Would Slash perchance get an attack of opportunity? Or has it not quite left his range yet?
Slash, if he was
Slash
possessing
should.
something, would have gotten an attack of
Oh,
opportunity.
right. Yeah, he's a ghost. You're right. Yeah,
And it is still within Worm's melee.
right.
Does a 13 hit Vesper?
Let me check. It does not.
Alright. Does a 17 hit Wendelorn, and does a 16 hit Ivor?
16
Yes.
does not hit Ivor.
Alright. I'm sorry, Vesper, did it hit? I just blanked.
No.
Okay. So Wendelorn gets hit. For 5 piercing damage. Can you please give me an acrobatics, Wendelorn, to not fall down the ladder? You easily regain your balance. It is then going to raise up its gnarly, thick-nailed hand and try to gore Ivor through the eye with its big ol' thumb.
Ooh, very specific.
And Ivor ducks his head, avoiding the blow. It is Ivor's turn.
All right, I'm going to bonus action disengage, and then whoop, 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 down here,
Doopity doop.
which will trigger my bolts from the grave. Where did I put that? Here it is.
So we got an attack on all
You
three
miss.
of them and 2 on Ivor?
He got 1 basic attack on Ivor, and then he tongue lashed everyone in an area.
Okay, since that missed, I will. Let's see, I used up 5, 10 feet of movement, so I'll use 5 more to get here. That's half my
Yes.
movement. And then I will Booming Blade
Alright.
with a dagger. Which I guess will just be a dagger attack then.
That will not hit.
Okay. Unfortunate. I'll just back off then. I'm still disengaged.
Alright.
That'll be my turn.
Alright. Vesper, it's your turn.
Well. Well, there's not really anywhere I can go. I guess I'll just try and burn it again.
Alright, you are in melee, so you'll have disadvantaged on ranged attack rolls.
Do you have a melee attack you can do instead?
Possibly better idea. Just need to see.
Its eyes are looking
I-
awfully hungry, though.
I apparently have spiritual weapon as well.
That does make sense. Would you like to cast it?
I would, yes.
Lovely. And what shape does it take?
Good question. I should have thought of that.
That was not what I intended.
Just a floating bolt of
That
fire.
will be decided.
What's that?
That will be decided.
Well, you have to decide it. You are forming it from the ether as we speak.
You can change it later and
Yes.
just give it something random now.
You could make it a tiny deer if you wanted to. You could make it a tiny you if you wanted to.
Oh yes, it's like a little miniature Vesper.
Sure, why not?
Okay.
There it is.
You gonna make it small? Oh my god, there you go.
Where would you like it?
Oh, that's perfect. I suppose, like, right next to it.
Okay, like where it is now?
Just... Yeah.
Okay. And just so you are aware, these things cannot make attacks of opportunity and cannot provide you with comrades for flanking.
Yeah.
All right.
That would
And
be OP.
it would be mildly, probably. And so you make your first attack this turn.
Look at you hitting.
You did indeed hit it.
Yay.
The mini Vesper has no such prohibitions on blasting the thing with a spectral fireball in melee, and it does indeed do so, causing blue mist to spurt in its general direction. You still have your action. Would you like to use it?
Yeah, I think I'm... Yeah, I'm still gonna try and burn it, I guess. There's really not that much I can do. I don't have very good melee attacks.
All right. You could disengage and run to the other side of the roof. You wouldn't be able to attack this turn, but you would be able to blast it next turn if it didn't run up to you.
That might not be a bad move.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's not a bad idea.
All right. Where would you like to run to?
Do. I suppose I'll stay against the wall, but I'm gonna go, say like 15 feet.
Like to there? Or like to
Yeah.
that one?
I mean, if we all spread out, it can't like tongue lash a bunch of us at the same time.
That's...
I hope.
All right. If you if you're not going to move anymore, then is that the end of your turn?
Yes.
Wendalorn.
So is it within melee range of me as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Just a quick question too.
Yes.
Does it actually take up the 4 squares here, or is it like a weird shape?
It will. It's going to take up the 3 squares that its body is mostly on.
Okay, gotcha.
Its body is kind of a weird shape. Which will mean Wendalorn and Worm are going to have advantage on their damage from flanking it right here. So actually, I think Worm
Cool.
should probably have... can you roll again for your damage that you did previously? And if it's a higher number, use that one.
God damn.
Well, that would... Can you roll again, please?
Can I save that roll?
No, I mean it'll be the 10.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. I'm sorry for wasting your really nice roll. But yes, Wendalorn.
RNG.
Really nice
What?
grapes.
I'm going to attempt to use Shocking Grasp on it then, if it's right in my face.
All right. Oh, you have. Your lightning crackles across its eyes, across its body. It leaps from tongue to tongue. Its screaming goes up in pitch.
And that's going to be it for my turn.
All right. Slash, it is your turn.
I seriously have no clue. I'm like I said, the only thing I can do is try and do an insight check and try and find a weakness. Other than that, I don't think I can physically do anything to help.
All right. You study the god's spectral form, hoping that some memories will dredge themselves up. Can you please give me an insight and an arcana roll? You realize that the physical form of this thing that you are seeing is not its true self. You can see that when wounds appear on its physical body, much shallower wounds, like very thin cuts, appear on the thing's spectral godlike body. You are pretty certain that powerful, divine, and spiritual magic will be necessary to at least drive this thing away, if not kill it. You believe that killing the body will not be enough.
Okay, so I'm going to step away.
All right.
And let me think how to word this. I don't think I have any kind of magic or anything I can do really for that. I'm just going to warn
it as a
everybody
ghost.
I suppose I could do that. I'm going to warn everyone that this is only probably one of its forms, and we may need some magic to defeat it. I will try and punch it and see what happens. I know I'm probably going to get hurt myself, but I'll try.
All right. And you notice that the wounds being created by the spiritual weapons are leaving deeper wounds than even the actual magic that's being used is. So you'll need to run into melee to do that. Where would you like to go?
There.
All right.
That's one of the spaces the thing's taking up, right?
Oh, is it?
Yeah, you need to go one more to the right.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, I'm just going to try to punch it where it's not looking.
All right. Can you give me an attack roll with proficiency, please? You do not hit it, but you don't like pass through it, you just miss it.
Gotcha. Can I disengage or back up afterwards?
You cannot disengage because you've used your action to attack. You can back up, but it will have an attack of opportunity on you.
Then I won't back up.
All right. I mean, assuming that it can see you as you can see it.
Does it after I've shocking grasped it, Taylor?
Does it lose its opportunity when you shock and grasp it? I'm not familiar with shock and grasp.
I think shock and grasp, yeah, that's its utility, is it disables reactions. Yeah.
Yeah, so you see the muscles of this thing twitching and spasming as you approach it. Slash, you feel pretty certain that you could slip away without it having the opportunity to attack you.
Okay. I will back up then.
Thank you, Wendelorn.
You are welcome, sir.
Huzzah.
I have moved.
Worm, it is your turn.
Alright, so to hit with spiritual weapon, I just hit spiritual weapon again.
Yep.
The same one I did to cast it.
Indeed you do. Your spiritual weapon misses.
Spiritual weapon's about to get fired.
It has inverted controls.
Should have been a bear.
Yeah.
You thwack it.
Black.
Do you do anything else?
I do not.
All right. Oh, you had advantage on that damage, and so did George. I missed that also. Can you both reroll me damage and see if you have better results? Yes, you did 1 more damage.
Yay.
Stephanie.
Slightly more vigorous thwack.
Thwackity-doo-dah. And you did considerably more lightning. Nice. Anything else?
Nope.
The creature regains control of its body. Masses of pulsating mass begin to move down the length of each of the tongues, forming
Masses of mass.
forming masses at the ends of the tongues, which are quickly forming themselves into humanoid-sized deer with bits of antler jutting from their skin. They have a weird sort of, it looks like a face if you like stretched a skirt stake over it. Like there's clearly an indentation where the eyes and the mouth should be, but there's just meat stretched across them. There's a muffled screaming that comes from within the masses of flesh.
So are these expelled from its tongues, or are they?
Imagine
part
that
of
the tongues are like umbilical cords.
Jesus
They connect at the
Christ.
back of the neck to these things.
So they're like deer people puppets.
Yes.
Are they standing on the ground?
They're kind of hunched over and crawling, hobbling.
This is the grossest thing you've ever come up with.
Give me time. One of them's gonna attack you, George.
All right.
Does a 14 hit?
Yes, it does.
All right. Deals 1 bludgeoning. One of them is going to attack you, Ivor. Does a 24 hit?
Sure does.
3 bludgeoning. And Vesper. It does a 16 hit.
Very much so.
4 bludgeoning. These things just bash with their little knobbly hands and malformed skulls. The thing is going to try to horse kick you, Mr. Worm.
Is it by design that we can't see each other's health bars?
No.
Okay, because
I don't know how that works with Roll20. At the moment, I can see Mini Vesper's health, I can see Worm's, and I can see Ivor's. I don't know if everyone else just has full health.
No, I can only see my own.
And if I click on people, then I can see their health above their heads. It might be cut off by the Roll20 edge of the screen. That sounds like something weird Roll20 would do.
I think you have to set permissions.
Gotcha.
For us to see each other's health bars. It's a setting thing.
That sounds right. Worm, does a 19 hit?
Mm-hmm.
One moment. You take 1 bludgeoning damage as it just grazes the tip of your ear.
That is good. I don't have a ton of health.
There's a loud humming coming from the creature's chest, where you saw the living soul. Ivor's turn.
Okay, bonus action disengage. Swoop over here.
Speedily away.
Actually, I'll end just here for now.
All right.
I may go over there later, but that triggers bolts from the grave.
Yay. Hit.
Okay, and that deals an extra, because of my 2 things I have active right now, extra 2 damage from X-Blade's Curse. And actually, what was the roll there? It was 17, not a crit. 2 extra damage from X-Blade's Curse, and 4 extra damage from Necrotic Shroud.
Nice. Were you attacking the main creature?
Yes.
All right. You blow the back of its head off, revealing little cat-like creatures writhing around in its skull cavity.
Okay, then I will back up a little farther and take aim at the cat-like creatures with Eldritch Blast.
All right. You hit, and you blast them flying free.
And that, again, does 6 extra damage, the 4 and the 2.
Nice. The thing falls in a slump to the ground. The little mini-its do not stop their movement.
Is the main body considered dead, then?
Yes.
Okay, so I regain 4 HP.
All right. The little shadows skitter around. They quickly become invisible to ordinary sight. Mr. Wendelorn and Mr. Slash can see them. Wendelorn and Slash, you may each have an attack of opportunity against one as they scurry past you. Actually, yeah, Mr. Evor can also see them in his form. He may also have an attack of opportunity against them.
Well, I can only punch, right? So I'm gonna try that.
All right. All right, Evor, you hit. Slash, you do not.
I didn't mean to roll twice.
Is okay.
I don't know if it matters or not, but that would do an extra 4 damage, not 6.
Okay.
From my shroud still.
So does this need to be a melee attack, or can it be a cantrip?
Melee attack unless you have the feat that lets you cantrip.
That's what I thought.
You gracefully thwack it right on the nose. It doesn't do much, but what a tremendous thwack. None of the things stop moving or even show signs of wounding. They do show signs of pain, but they continue and they scurry off the battlements. Is that the rest of your turn, Evor?
Yep.
All right. Vesper, it is your turn. There is still a bulbous monstrosity pummeling you.
Of course. Well,
You do have your spiritual weapon. That's a no-brainer to use your bonus action on.
yeah, that's still going. So, wait, it's a thing we're fighting dead, or...
That's certainly what it appears like to you.
So what's attacking me then?
A little creature of flesh still attached to the main creature by a thorny tongue stretching from one of its eyes to the back of the little creature's head.
Oh. Alright, well, I suppose spiritual weapon is still attacking, so...
Thwippity thwoof, get off my
Ooh.
roof. You miss. Sorry, no, you hit. And the spiritual weapon obliterates the little thing.
Very good.
The mini you just kind of shanks it in the spine and it dies.
That moment when a mini version of me is more useful than I am.
That moment when the clerics have better pets than rangers.
Not
True.
mine.
Do you do anything with your action and movement? Several of your companions are being assailed.
Well, if there's any more of those
Oh, there are.
out attacking them directly, I suppose I can just try burning them all.
Yes.
Now, how many of them are there?
You can see 2 more.
Right. I just need to check a spell real quick.
Oh, lovely. Poor Wendelorn is really getting the works over there.
Right, well, I'm gonna cast Magic Missile.
Alright. Are you gonna cast all 3 at one of them?
Well, if there's... No, I'm gonna attack both of them, but I guess the second bolt is going to go to one of them.
Alright. Are you attacking the top one or the bottom one first?
There's top, I guess.
Alright. Can you roll me your damages, please?
Now, does one roll go for all of them, or do I have to do 3?
I can't remember if Magic Missile is specifically one for the 3.
Technically speaking, it's one roll, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, then.
I believe that was sage advice.
That sounds right. Alright. You crack 2 bolts into the top one and 1 bolt into the bottom one. They're both still up. But you blew off the arm of the top one. And a good portion of the muscles that are pretending to be a sternum.
Well, that'll be my turn then.
Alright. Wendelorn, magic missiles zip by you, narrowly missing you.
Okay, and I'm still in melee with this little thing in front of me, correct?
Yes.
Well, then I'm going to shocking grasp that one then.
Alright. It explodes.
Now, I can still see this godlike thing, correct?
Yes. It is rapidly growing smaller and fading, but the god form did not just like disappear when the physical form died.
Okay. And what became of the cat-like things? They got thrown off the roof? Was that?
They ran up the battlements and then leaped off.
Well, that could be a problem. I guess for right now, I'm just going to end my turn there.
Alright. Slash, it is your turn.
Okay, so I'm going to again attempt to attack the little guy in front of me.
Alright. Now, this little guy does not have a godlike spiritual presence about it, and it doesn't even seem to know that you exist. You feel this may be a little bit of a different situation.
Okay, if it doesn't have that, then I'm actually going to attempt. I'm going to try to possess it.
Alright.
I don't know what I have to roll for
Yeah.
that.
Can you please give me a straight charisma roll? You jump into it, preparing to wrestle away whatever passes for a mind, but there is no mental presence inside this thing. You slip into the meat puppet like you're slipping into a fresh suit of meat. Congratulations, you have a little meat pygmy body.
Lovely.
All of your stats are, all your physical stats are 10s. You have a +0 stat bonus to them.
Okay. Well, that's something. Does that count as my full action?
That will be your action. Would you like to do anything else? You can feel yourself drinking nutrients from the corpse on the ground, but you can feel through your connection that it is dead.
I'm not sure what else I can do.
I think unless you want to move, that's probably about it.
Right. Yeah, I think I'll just end my turn.
Okay. We will be out of combat now, as all of the enemies have been incapacitated one way or another.
Huzzah.
Huzzah! You guys did it.
So you mentioned on the body, Ivor would do something immediately when he's
Yes.
able to. You mentioned on the body there was some kind of a living soul visible.
Yes. Now, not visible at the moment because the thing has slumped over, but it had an exposed rib cage in its chest. A rib cage that was like a lattice, sort of, and it contained a living soul within it. And you certainly would have seen that.
Ivor would immediately rush up and start hacking at the ribcage, trying to pry it
All right.
open, or whatever he could do to get towards that.
I would help.
As the pair of you get rid of those pesky ribs, you can, I guess, Ivor would see, and the others who can see the god presence, can see that it is being absorbed into the living soul.
Absorbed into the living soul.
Yes. And you get it free. It is on this side of the world. It takes the form of what seems to be a sapphire the size of a human head. Perfectly spherical, polished, gleaming with an inner light. It doesn't have the spectral and awe-inspiring form that it does in the world of the unliving, but it is unmistakable. You feel its soothing presence as you hold it in your hand, although you feel a spiritual turmoil from the thing inside it, though the thing is suppressed enough that you feel in no danger of it overcoming you.
All right. Let me Discord DM you a question.
Yes.
That's okay.
I was just about to Discord DM you. Vesper, the mini you pokes the corpse with a spectral stick.
Is it possible for me to touch it, or?
To touch the mini you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Your hand
I'm
sort of passes through it, but there's some sensation.
I'm gonna give it a little pat on the head.
It seems happy.
It only lasts for 1 minute,
Yeah.
sadly.
But it is not concentration.
Ivor shoves the soul in his mouth.
What?
Seeing as the soul is about the size of Ivor's head, this is a difficult task.
I begin to bite.
Your jaw
I begin
unhinges.
to prevent him from doing this.
You can certainly
I
try.
resist.
Can you give me opposed strength rolls, please? You are at added advantage,
Can I try
Ivor.
to acrobatics my way out of the way? At advantage, okay.
Tough call.
The force within the orb seems to seize your muscles as Worm stops you from fully dismantling your own jaw to fit it in your mouth. And Worm is able to hold your arms at bay, at least. Now, does your form that you're in give you any advantages to anything?
Can I try to make Worm afraid of me using the fear thing that it has?
Is that like a once when you use it thing, usually?
I think so, but Worm was technically in range before. Probably not.
Why are you trying to eat this?
Reasons.
Your god empowers you to use your ability a second time.
Okay. Make a charisma saving throw, Worm.
You probably do not pass that.
Yeah, you are terrified of Ivor at the moment.
Now, how does this work? Does Ivor see you? Sorry, does Worm see you as something else, or is he just possessed by madness for a moment?
Probably just the magic, the kind of like shadowy magic of the bony wings and Ivor's glossed over eyes, and the fact that he was trying to eat it. Yes, a soul just kind of inspires a bit of fear.
All right. So, Worm, you see Ivor in a new light, or a new lack of light, I suppose. You have the sudden dread in your soul that maybe this is what's been following you around all this time. Just waiting for the chance
Can I try to tear myself away from Worm?
You may have another opposed strength. Worm, what is your strength roll?
Oh my god.
The two of you are relatively feeble, but Worm is the more feeble of the two of you.
Barely, by one.
You rip yourself free. What do the rest of you do in the split second this is happening?
Well, I'm still trying to get used to my new body, and apparently I'm eating a dead body right now.
Yes, you are sipping it very nicely.
How far is the drop from the roof?
50 feet probably.
Oh, okay.
You can feel a familiar voice, not quite speaking, just kind of drifting through your mind. Ivor. Your instincts tell you to ignore it.
I try to just get away from Worm and continue to consume.
Okay.
Or attempt to consume.
Your sternum kind of unzips, cracks right down the middle, and peels itself away. Your organs are making room for this thing.
What the hell is Ivor again?
We're finding that out.
This is Taylor's universe. Everything just is gory.
So Ivor is unzipping.
He is unzipping, yes. From the throat downward.
And I can see this thing he's holding while Worm
Yes.
has him held.
And you are very aware this is a living soul.
I'm going to try to take this thing away from him because it's clearly having adverse effects on his body.
Alright. Can I get opposed strengths from you guys unless you have some kind of arcane method of doing this?
Did I attempt to help?
No, I'm not going to play with the mage hand. I'm just going to try and grab it away from him.
I don't know that you could help in your I mean, yeah, you have a physical body. You can give advantage on this. Ivor also has advantage. But Wendelorn is stronger still than Ivor. When your muscles are all disconnecting from each other, it's hard for them to work properly, I guess.
That's fair.
So yeah, Wendelorn is surprisingly, astoundingly, tremendously, pulling this thing half out of your gullet. It is slippery and covered in saliva and blood. but
Is my spiritual weapon still active?
it is.
Can I try to kerthwack him with it, or am I
You
too
can indeed.
terrified to do so?
That's a good question. Frightened condition. What does it do?
You're at disadvantage on attack rolls and stuff, and you can't move towards the sense of fear.
All right. So you can scream. I'll say that you can scream, "Kill it! Kill it! Kill it!" at your spiritual weapon, and it will be perfectly fine. But you will
that
have
makes sense.
the disadvantage, etc. Will that hit?
If it's at a normal roll, the
Yes.
18 does not hit.
All right. The sword misses.
I like how my spiritual weapon finally gets a decent roll, though, against an ally.
One of Ivor's arms flailing just has a shield on it and blocks.
Nice. So Ivor, no, Wendelorn is probably like right there if he's doing this. So I imagine the spiritual weapon would be like right there, so it's not occupying the same space as the flesh pygmy slash. Vesper, what are you doing? Your blood trembles as you see the living soul.
Set him on fire.
You desire to crack the living soul open and divest all of your blood into it.
Oh.
You wish to be reborn as a small lizard from an egg within the living soul.
Does Ivor have a chance to act now, or is it not been enough time?
Vesper needs to have her reaction, then Ivor can act.
Sure. Works for me.
If Vesper would like to do anything.
I'm not going to do anything at the moment, but I am going to try and get closer.
Okay, where would you like to go?
Well, who has it currently?
Ivor. In the corner over there.
He's
Didn't
unzipping
Wendelorn-
himself.
I thought Wendelorn just stopped me.
Wendelorn, yeah, he stopped you. He got it like half out of your body.
Gotcha.
Well, I'm just going to get uncomfortably close then.
Like there.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Now, Ivor.
I'm going to cast Hex on Wendelorn,
Alright.
giving him disadvantage on strength checks, and then attempt to pull the soul back.
Is that a ranged roll?
Hex just applies.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, I mean, and if I were to attack him, I'd get extra damage, but
Yep.
that's not the intent here. And it's a bonus action to cast Hex, and I assume I could use my action to try and consume.
Yes. And you try to consume. Can you please give me opposed strength with Wendelorn?
There it is.
A tremendous, powerful force surges inside you. You of course have the advantage on this. And your wings are going to lengthen of their own accord. They are going to try to stab Wendelorn in the back. Can you please give me an unarmed attack roll, Ivor, against Wendelorn?
Yes. I guess that would be unarmed attack. I'll just do a d20. This is d20 minus 1.
Okay.
Be 17.
Now you do overpower Wendelorn's strength. You are able to kind of shovel it back into your gullet. But does that 18 hit Wendelorn?
Oh, yes.
Alright, it's going to deal 1d8 necrotic damage.
I guess if Hex would apply, that would be another d6 as well,
Alright.
since I did cast that.
So that's 10 that Wendelorn will take. Worm, what do you do? Being terrified as you are.
How can I become unterrified?
by the source of your terrifying being gone?
Technically, you're unterrified after I take another turn. So
Okay.
you'd be unterrified by now.
Okay, so I don't get to make a saving throw against it each turn.
It's just gone now. It only lasts for a turn, so you're
Okay.
good.
Well,
Your fear diminishes when you see Wendell overpower him.
well, I'm gonna try to hit him with my spiritual weapon again. Not that I'm expecting
Alright.
anything.
Thwippity thwack. That will not hit.
Par for the course. And I suppose since nothing else is, I mean, he's got to be stopped. As much as I hate to, I'm gonna try to run up and kerthwack him.
Alright, are you... So you're occupying the same space as your spiritual weapon, and I believe that's fine. I think we
And it-
determined that
well, I
during
can
Dan's
move
game.
it, too. So
Yeah, it's not a creature, so it
Right.
just yeah.
Alright, so you go into melee and you Kathwack. Will a 23 hit?
Absolutely. I'm out of spell slots, so yes, that will hit.
And that is a 9 slashing. Slishity slash. Do you do anything else, Worm?
no.
Alright. Slash. You see this crazy havoc going on.
Ooh, can you possess Ivor?
I might be able to, but I don't know if that will help. I guess I'll try. I'll leave this body since it has no. I can go back in whenever I want, anyways. And I'm gonna attempt to possess Ivor.
You leave the body, and it falls to the ground. Can you and Ivor give me opposed charisma rolls? Ivor will have advantage on this. I'm sorry.
Thank God for that.
Ivor, your head is swimming with so many voices. You do not hear one more voice creep in the back door and hit you in the back of the head with a brick. You draw up Ivor's soul chair and sit in it. Slash.
You need to get new dice, man.
You are not alone in this room. Slash. There's Ivor. He's crumpled at your feet, holding the back of his head. He's a very tiny Ivor, as you are dominating the force in the room. But there is something a good 100 times bigger than you in here. What you thought were two pillars in this room, which is imagine like a spotlight shining down in a stone chamber, and then there's just darkness beyond it. You thought that there were two stone pillars at the edge of the light, but you quickly realize that those are legs with severed feet.
Wow.
Cool, just sit there.
What is it doing? Does it look like it's trying to get me, or just stare at me, or?
You follow the line of where its body must be upward into the darkness, and you see a pair of burning blue eyes staring at you from what feels like a mile high. Ivor, you will see this figure too.
Is this the first time Ivor recognizes it?
This is the first time Ivor has seen it in this lifetime, but he immediately recognizes it as his god. Ivor, your god looks at you with a bit of contempt. It does not address you. What are you trying to do, Slash?
Trying to figure out its intentions, or what?
It is very angry you have invaded its chamber and thrown its servant out of its chair.
Yeah, Ivor gets down on the ground on his knees and then bows completely so his head touches the floor in front of this being.
Yes, and the god is not happy with you, Ivor. It has given you everything on a platter. You have come so far, but you have fallen down at the last moment.
Can I make an Arcana check? Trying to find out what this thing is.
I mean, you feel it as a tremendous spiritual presence that can be nothing other than a god. You recognize divinity when you see it. That is the side effect of being so in touch with your ghostly astral side. Now granted, this is a very dead, very weak god. The shadow of a shadow of a shadow. However, you invited yourself into the place where it's the strongest. Wendelorn. You see Slash jump into Evor's head, and then you see Ivor start seizing.
Now, when he bested me strength-wise, I had my hand in his mouth. Is my hand still in his mouth?
Yes. You can easily pull it free, though.
No, I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to try and trigger his gag reflex and see if he will throw up this thing.
All right.
Couldn't you just unzip
Can
him?
you give me a minute? Can you give... I mean, he's still more or less unzipped. His organs are just
yes,
trying to
but
wrap
I-
around the thing.
I don't want to hurt him. I just want to get this thing out of him, and that's the only thing I can think of at the moment that won't hurt him.
Can you give me a medicine check, please? You trigger the gag reflex. Beyond all the powers of the most sinister gods, you trigger a piece of essential and basic biology that causes him to vomit up the tasty foods that he has been eating over the course of this festival, and a gigantic sapphire the size of his head that comes plorping up out of his body along with the contents of his stomach onto the ground.
Can I grab that sapphire?
You can indeed.
Well, then I'm going to grab the sapphire and hang on to it for dear life, lest he suddenly come back to life and try and wrench it away from me.
All right. You look at it through your special eye, and you can see it as it appears in the unliving world, a point of brilliant light that illuminates your soul. And, you know, if you weren't in the midst of wrestling desperately, might even bring you something like peace.
That's going to be the end of my turn, then.
Now, what did that look like for us inside his head?
You guys inside the head don't see any change.
But if I'm controlling the body and he vomits, wouldn't that affect me?
Yeah, but you're in a different place right now. You're not terribly connected with your biology. You hadn't quite gotten that far. You hadn't settled yourself all comfy yet. You do feel something's mildly wrong, though.
Just mildly.
Just mildly. The god looms forward out of the darkness, and you can see that its nose has been cut off, as well as its hands. Its body is a long spine with two bat-like skeletal wings stretching from the still fleshy shoulders. And it just kind of whip-like ripples itself down and tries to slam you with one of its tremendous forearms. Does a 39 hit?
No. Okay, yeah.
How?
Ouch.
Gods.
Damn.
You take 50 necrotic damage. If this brings you to 0, you'll be cast out of the body.
That brings me to 0.
Alright. Ivor, you regain control of your body. You come to outside. I mean, not outside your body, but not in the room. Alright, party. This is where we are positioned. Slash has been ejected outside of the body. He is currently like a little cloud of mist without humanoid form, just kind of hovering about an inch over the ground. Wendalorn is standing in a pile of stomach, holding a dripping living soul in his hands. Ivor has collapsed onto the ground and is just barely regaining consciousness. Vesper and Worm are, they're pretty much just doing their thing.
Do we recognize the mist as Slash?
Yes. You have chopped Slash up so many times you're intimately familiar with what he looks like in any form.
Is it Worm's turn?
Yes.
Alright, before Ivor
Yes.
Before Ivor regains consciousness, I'd like to kind of grapple him, just to prevent him from doing anything else horrific. Just
Right.
kind of hold on to him.
If you guys can give me opposed strength rolls with Worm having advantage. You're able to subdue him.
Okay.
And Vesper, what are you doing? Not that Worm is
horrified by this sight.
Yeah. Were you going to do anything else, Worm, at that time?
No.
Okay. Yeah, the little you is also horrified, Vesper.
Are they still active?
I don't know.
That's a long minute.
We're probably close to the minute having passed.
Yeah, as the minute passes,
Yeah.
Ivor's wings would fade as well.
Okay. All the things fade about this time then.
No, my friend.
Hex is still going on Wendalorn.
Yep.
That's, I think, the only thing.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it may not be, because I was struck by a sword.
Okay.
It is still going.
Yay. So are you just going to kind of stand there, Vesper?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Just in
Not
case
really
anything
much I
horrible
can
happens.
contribute.
Okay. Wendalorn, you have the soul. What do you plan on doing now?
So Ivor is subdued at the moment.
Yes, Worm is sitting on him.
I've got him kind of from behind. I drew a picture. That's a helpful diagram.
Perfect.
Lovely.
Okay, and nobody else seems to be aggressively coming towards me to try and take this thing away from me.
That is what you see, or rather what you don't see.
Okay, well in that case I'm going to kind of move away from Ivor and secure this thing in a pouch, because I'm not sure I really want to hold it too long, because it had a very adverse effect on Ivor.
Ivor just has his eyes locked on it until it goes in the pouch.
Alright. And at this time, Slash begins to slowly reform into a humanoid shape. Slash, you feel that you won't be possessing any living things anytime soon. You could probably muster up enough strength to possess inanimate objects, though.
Yeah, at this point, I don't know if I want to.
Poor Slash.
As I form back, though, is my missing leg forming back at all?
It is, actually.
Something good came out of it.
You just needed to unplug it and plug it back in. Ivor, you have returned. The voice of your god is no longer strong in your head. You are no longer consumed by urges. Your power has not faded. And nothing feels like it's been taken away from you. Worm is sitting on you, though, so I guess your mobility has been taken away from you. And you feel pretty battered and bruised.
Well, as he sees the soul be put into a pouch, I'll just kind of slump to the ground and not move.
Okay.
Just kind of staring.
You see, this is passive resistance, and I don't let up.
How heavy is Worm again?
Well, I'm behind him.
I mean, yes. Well, what do you...
Helpful diagram.
Yes, where is the diagram? I don't see the diagram.
In Discord.
Oh. You're grappling him real good.
Yeah.
Alright, so what do you guys do now? The situation has been probably maybe contained.
Well, I'm not gonna let him go until it's definitely contained.
He is zipping back up.
Good. It's a start.
His jaw is rehinging itself.
Well, it's also a good sign.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I
Usually.
don't see any remnant left of this godlike thing that was here earlier.
That is correct. You saw it being sucked into the living soul.
So as far as I know, I've got it sitting in my pouch at the moment.
As far as you know.
I'm just going to be very wary of Ivor for a while until I'm sure he's come back to his senses.
Is Ivor conscious?
Yes.
I'd like to ask Ivor what the fuck.
You would like to, but do you?
I do, yes. Ivor, WTF, dude.
Ivor is silent.
Well, I'm going to continue to hold on to him until he gives some sort of confirmation that he's his normal self.
The few remaining townsfolk in the distance are looking up at you guys. If you happen to stroll to the edge of the the balustrade and look over, the few people who didn't get turned into mush.
Yeah, the genocide.
I still pose the question: is it genocide if you didn't mean it?
Yes.
Okay. Is it negligent
just-
genocide?
Isn't it just a massacre if it's a town, not like all of the race?
Well, what if they were the gelatin people and these were the last of them? I don't know.
Good point.
It's a good question.
It's the entire race as far as we know.
That's a good point as well.
As far as you guys know, this is the entire human race. You haven't been outside
could
this
be.
town. This is your entire frame of reference to the living world.
It could be the entire deer race. We're not exactly
That
sure.
is true. It is still very much the middle of the night.
We missed an opportunity to look up at the thing and say, "Dear God."
You did. I was waiting for it the
Yeah.
entire time.
Man. Regrettably, I couldn't see it. No, I'm just comfy back here, so.
Ivor makes no move to resist, and no peep out of Ivor.
It's a stalemate.
Well, you guys just stand
stuck
here for
here.
the rest of the night if no one resists.
Yep.
Yep.
I don't even know if I can move, so.
After a good 8 hours, you'll be able to move some more, Mr. Slash. I promise it.
At what point does it count as a short rest?
If literally no one is resisting each other, there's nothing to stop you from relaxing while in the tight embrace of the other.
Well, Igor has gone limp and he's just relaxing.
This is the most awkward Mexican standoff I've ever seen. Alright,
I'm feeling very close to you right now, Igor.
will Vesper or Wendelorn do anything else, or will they allow hours to pass?
Well, hell, I'm going indoors. I don't see any reason to stay up here on the roof.
That's what I was waiting for. You go downstairs.
Getting off the roof.
There's a
I
lot
don't
of...
think I can, like, butt scoot down the stairs while holding Igor, so we're stuck here.
You could try. I would let you try. With acrobatics. No, athletics.
Going down the stairs would be really awkward.
It is a ladder, so
I
it would
like-
be especially awkward.
I like the thought of it being acrobatics and Worm is just doing like all sorts of flips while holding Igor down.
You gotta shrimp into the sunset is what you gotta do.
I would attempt it, but I don't want to know what would happen if I fail, so...
Alright, well, Wendelorn goes downstairs. There's about the same amount of blood, but there's probably fewer mosquitoes.
There were
Slash-
mosquitoes?
I mean, now that you notice them, yeah, now you can't not notice them. They're just... I mean, there's way more blood than people, if that makes any sense. So they're not really paying attention to you.
I'm not sure mosquitoes drink out of vats of blood, but I don't know enough about mosquitoes to argue.
You gotta adapt in a world with blood cultists and few people.
True.
Slash, you are formed enough that you can go down the... not the stairs. You can drop down to the floor below. If you would like. You don't have to.
Well, if everyone else is going, I will.
Alright. You are at you will go back to 1 HP. Being a ghost gives you weirdly different rules about HPs. Vesper, what are you going to do? When Wendelorn leaves, your blood stops sizzling, crackling, and popping.
Oh.
I didn't realize that had continued the song.
You get used to it after a while.
That would definitely make the many hours of waiting a little bit more awkward.
That's very odd. Well, I don't think there's really that much for me to be doing at the moment.
Yeah, probably not.
Things seem to be relatively okay-ish.
Are you
I
going to
think-
stay where you are, do you think, or go downstairs?
Oh, I gone downstairs.
Okay.
Does the boiling continue if she gets near Wendelorn?
Yes. It
Alright,
gets
don't do
stronger.
that.
Alright,
can
well,
go to the other
I'll
side of the
keep
room.
my distance.
Okay.
Is Vesper being microwaved?
A little bit. Vesper's being
It's all
ultrasonically
the-
cleaned.
It's all the 5G radiation, right?
Wow.
We needed living souls to create 5G towers. It's all making sense now. And Slash, did you go down below?
I went with everyone.
Okay. So now it's just Worm and Ivor on the roof.
Yep. Locked in an eternal embrace.
The heads of 5 cats appear over the edge of the battlement, staring at you, Ivor. They're very shiny cats. They don't seem to have fur, so much as
Now-
just grease.
When you
Do
say
they-
heads of cats, is it attached to anything
Well,
down
they popped
under the
up.
edge?
You can't see that.
It's not for certain.
It's not for certain. It's a
Do
variable.
they look like the cat things that were in the head of the thing before?
You only really saw vague shapes, but like, what are the odds that just a bunch of cats are gonna come back and not be those ones?
Up a 50-foot battlement. Yeah.
Exactly.
Now you said these looked like flank steaks stretched across bones.
No, those were the little pygmies.
Oh,
These
Worm sees them too.
Worm does see them too.
I thought
Ivor,
those.
Worm
were
did
the
not
same
see
as
them
cats.
before.
Ivor has no reaction other than just acknowledging them.
I will watch them, but I'm not gonna move. Not unless they do anything drastic or sudden.
One of them jumps down. It's
To the
not
ground?
monster. Well, no, it jumps down to the floor that you're sitting on.
Okay, so there's like a ledge around.
Yes, it jumps off.
Okay.
Yeah. It is not terribly monstrous. It is vaguely cat proportioned. One moment. It has paws with, 6 toes on each paw, but it doesn't have human hands or anything. Its tail is a good, 50% longer than a cat's tail maybe usually is. Its ears are very long and twitchy. Its eyes look like human eyes rather than cat eyes, but that's not terribly weird. It doesn't have fur. It has an oily black skin that reflects the moonlight. And it pads up to you, stopping about a foot from you, and sits down. It does not move any further.
All I'm thinking over the things from cats.
I don't think this is quite that bad.
Okay.
And I may or may not have a non-disclosure agreement for my work designing cats.
Hmm.
The rest
So
of them...
Ivor is
yes.
content to lay here for as long as it takes for Worm to let him go, at least for now.
All right.
Until a short rest would
All right.
take place.
I spent a long time buried in a hole. I've got a lot of patience.
That is true. A short rest will pass.
Now remind me, with these custom gritty realism healing rule things, do we still do hit dice on short rests, or is it only long rests?
You
Hit
can use hit dice, but not
Yes.
gain them, right?
the gaining, etc. for each of the rests works as usual. The rests themselves just take a lot longer. So it'll take you 8 hours for your short rest.
And remind me, when we die, when we come back, what hit points is that at?
When you die and you come back, you will be at full HP in the other world. In this world, it's potentially a little different.
It almost makes more sense to die than to use up hit dice.
Yeah, it costs you a sanity that we really didn't end up doing much with,
Oh, yeah.
as far as you know. Maybe I just bluffed. Maybe I
Oh,
didn't.
fantastic.
I will never know.
I'm glad I used those.
And those of you down below, are you going to take advantage of your short rests?
Well, I will obviously will.
Yeah. Slash, as a ghost, you're going to return to your full HP. No hit dice required.
Sweet.
You just made that up too, right?
Yes, I did.
The magic of dungeon mastery.
I'm beginning to be able to tell when things are just made up on the fly.
Like, literally whenever I open my mouth.
It's because you don't pause to think first.
Dang it.
Don't ever play poker.
Okay.
Well, that brings me back up to full HP.
Lovely.
Aren't you special? I went from a quarter of mine to a half of mine.
To be fair, his full HP is only 2/3 of yours. And Vesper's just sitting over
Yeah.
here being like, boy, I sure am glad people weren't hitting me in the face with swords.
Now that Ivor feels nice and rested, he's going to
Yes.
start trying to resist.
Alright. As the sun rises, Ivor says, it is time.
Indeed.
Are you done being not okay?
Well, he's currently trying to wiggle out of your grip after being limp for like 8 hours.
Speak to me.
No.
Are you done unzipping and eating things?
Am I done what?
Okay. You don't remember doing that.
Ivor does not respond.
Would you like to try to resist the wiggling, Worm?
Yes.
Alright, opposed strength rolls, please. No one at advantage or disadvantage. Ivor wriggles free. With a...
Alright, I will.
Alright.
How much movement is that total? 1, 2, 3. It'll be 1 square
No.
movement to go down the floor?
You
or-
were prone to begin with.
fair
so
point. Fair point.
Both of you would have been.
Okay, so would that be 15 feet of movement as I've gone so far?
Yes.
Okay. Upon getting down here, would I see the pouch that Gwendolyn shoved the thing into?
Wendell Lorton, did you hide the pouch or secrete it in any way?
No, I just stuck it in there because I didn't want to be holding the thing,
Right.
lest it cause me to unzip.
Yeah, that wouldn't be nice. So you see the pouch.
Okay. I will bonus action dash
Alright.
and then attempt to grab the pouch.
Alright. Now Slash, you don't sleep. The two of you are zombies, aren't you? So you wouldn't be sleeping either. So you are awake when he comes down here. And he's gonna snatch, he's gonna grab, he's gonna do a thing. Would you like to desperately try to... I say desperately. I don't think that's really what Wendelorn does. Wendelorn, do you like to try to stop him from grabbing the pouch?
Yeah, he would take it personally, him trying to steal from him. Plus,
Okay.
he knows he's nuts as far as that stone goes.
All right. Can you... Are you trying to be stealthy about this, Mr. Ivor?
I'd like to make an argument for sleight of hand, potentially, but I'm at a sprint here.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think you were particularly.
I broke free of Worm and then I'm just rushing down.
You probably would have heard him
You know,
running anyway.
dropped the final few steps of the ladder, that kind of thing. Just full tilt.
Right, let's... Yeah, sleight of hand is a really weird skill. Let me see what the official description is right again. I am leaning toward giving it sleight of hand versus dexterity saving throw.
I think if you're just like running and diving for it, wouldn't that be more acrobatic?
Let me see what these... When you attempt in an act of legerdemain or manual trickery, like planting something on someone else or concealing an object on your person, make a sleight of hand to determine whether you can lift a coin purse off a person or slip something out. So there's a definite element of stealth in the sleight of hand skill. It is definitely someone is not noticing that you're doing the thing.
Sure,
If you're coming at a full tilt, I don't think that would make any sense. You could definitely do in acrobatics or in athletics, and I'm gonna call for Wendelorn's dexterity saving throw in response.
All right.
In following him down the stairs and seeing him run, can I make any movement to stop him as well?
You can.
I mean, I was
You would have-
dashing, so I'd be
right.
twice as fast as you.
Okay.
You'd have to use your dash if you're trying to follow after him.
Because I don't know how the timing would work, but I would like to run after him and try to like football tackle him?
That's going to be really tough. He is.
Okay.
You are certainly
Who's-
reacting to his careful and roguey plan. You were the
Ivor's a
one who was.
speedy boy at the moment too.
Yes. And you were the one who was holding him in place while he was just kind of starfishing all night. So,
Well, as much as I'm able, I'd like to attempt something similar to that.
all right. Can you give me? You'll have to dash. And can you give me athletics at disadvantage? And I'll ask for your dexterity saving throw, Mr. Ivor. You nimbly dodge out of the way. And
Okay, and then acrobatics, you said, to try and...
yes.
Okay.
Versus Wendelorn's dex save. Wendelorn is able to get his arm through the loop of the pouch, keep you from just grabbing it and running. Perhaps if you hadn't been momentarily distracted by Worm, you could have done it.
I assume that was my action
Yes.
in this weird uninitiative
Yes.
cycle. And I use my bonus action to dash. So let's
feel
see.
like we
I got
should
here
get
1, 2.
initiative.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Let me remove the tongue-eye creature, and can I get
I use
everyone
my
to...
remaining movement
Yes.
to go towards these stairs.
All right. Can I get everyone to go into initiative, please? A new round. Right. Actually, I am going to call the game here for tonight. When we begin next week, we'll begin in initiative and figuring out what is happening with the Stone and Ivor in the group.
Okay.
All right.
All right, thank you guys for playing.
Thank you, Taylor.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You guys have a good week. Bye.
Yeah.
You too.
Thanks.